Welcome everyone. Today I have a new Path of Exile Citadel guide. Now since our previous Citadel guide, a lot of our viewers has been sharing the similar questions I have been asking, and this is coming from the both English and also Chinese community over here. As you can see some of the questions. I'm level 90, I haven't found any Citadels, and also I'm level 94, only found 2 Citadels so far in 2 weeks. So in this video, we'll look at some of the major reasons why some players are not finding enough Citadels. And we'll be going through all of those, and they have been tested by a lot of players, other content creators, and also different methods and also strategies. And there is a lot of clues and ways to look for nearby nodes, nearby biomes, which can help you to decide where the Citadels may be spawning, and also other ways to look for those. And of course, if you guys want the short version, at the end of the first part, there is a summary for you to have a look over here. On the second part, we'll look into some of the warnings of how the Citadels can be bugged and what to do when you cannot reach the pathing of the Citadel. Those can be extremely annoying, so it's important for us to also cover those after finding a precious Citadel like the copper one over here, which can worth over 5 to 7 divines. So coming over to the first part, now one of the biggest reasons I realized a lot of the viewers were asking similar questions is that we do not know how the Citadels are kind of forcefully spawning. And I have been looking around both on Reddit and also from different content creators and also additional information about the biomes, everything related. So I want to direct us over here to this video from DonTheCrown, which I think he made a very good explanation about the most important part about finding Citadels. So let's have a look at this short clip over here.
Trick that I've kind of seen here is that I found a lot of Citadels like back to back, and then I stopped finding Citadels at all for 4 days. And then I switched one thing and I went back to finding Citadels every single day. And that is, you want to go in a straight direct line away from wherever your start is. So you can see that my start is all the way up here. And I initially went straight down here. And after about 70 nodes, I found my very first Citadel right here. And as I continued away, I found another Citadel. I found another Citadel. And then we kept finding Citadels as we went. However, I then started going after this one over here, back up, which was closer to the start. And I'm pretty sure that all of these nodes are closer than 70 away. So I never found a Citadel up here. And then when I went and cleared the other direction, I cleared a huge area up here and never found a single Citadel at all. And so that was kind of annoying.
So to summarize, I think you guys get the gist of the idea, and big thank you for DonTheCrown for sharing his discoveries. And on the second part, we also look at his myth path with the corpses with the Citadels. So yes, if you guys haven't been following DonTheCrown, make sure you subscribe to him because he has been posting some really good Diablo 4 and also Path of Exile 2 content. So coming back to our notes, one of the biggest things is, this might seem trivial, but we have some, confirmation, we have more information, both also on the Chinese forums, and people are discussing about this, is that not only you want to go in a straight line straight away from the starting point, you're looking for at least 70 nodes or enough distance traveled around or away from the starting point. You do not want to go in circles around where you started. You want to directly go 70 plus away nodes, and then you want to go even further. So you don't have to count this one yourself, but as you travel further directly in a mostly straight line, this is where you start to find a lot of Citadels. And this is quite important because you saw on the video, which I have the videos in the links below for you guys to have a look, Don has discovered a lot of Citadels together, and then he stopped finding them because he backtracked and started clearing around the starting point. You do not want to clear in a circle, but rather you want to go over somewhat a straight line away from the starting point. And I'm sure most of you are like me, you might have cleared around, let's say, you might have cleared a bunch, and then all of a sudden you see some really good nodes over there, you want to save for those, and then you go somewhere else. And this is the mistake. You want to keep going, and keep going. This is where you find more Citadels. And more often than not, guys, you tend to find more Citadels together. So after finding one Citadel, you can find more Citadels from this way. Now, during this video, DonTheCrown also talked about the corpses, which seems to be somewhat of a myth, and in this video, he also tried to myth about those corpses. So if you guys are following any guide regards to corpses, I haven't found anything solid or evidential that corpses actually help you spawn Citadels. It is more likely related to luck, and the best way to do it is just pushing for the nodes. So Going through what the Chinese community has been sharing in this previous post, if you haven't seen it, we covered a lot about the biomes and also how Chinese players were finding a lot of citadels. They were saying they can get as quickly as finding 1 citadel every hour and maybe 1 or 2 citadels every 2 to 3 hours. So how is it doing this? This is a popular strategy we mentioned in the previous video. But now combining with knowing that you want to go away with at least 70 knots, this becomes more evidential why they're doing this. So the Chinese community are recommending to use tier 14 and also tier 15 maps for a good knot. And when I say a good knot, I meant when we come back over here to some of those more juiced up knots over here with a lot of good stuff on it. So for the good knots, you want to still use your tier 14, tier 15, corrupted, or even tier 16 maps. But for the knot that is not good, or the knots that you just want to path along like this one, this is an empty one, right? For those knots, you can consider using a tier 1 to tier 10 map, which will be super easy for you to speedrun it in 2 to 3 minutes and clear this one faster. This way, the Chinese players are clearing close to, I guess, 60 or 70 knots every 2 hours. And by using this strategy and combining with the knowledge of you want to clear more further away, this is how they were finding a lot more citadels. So now everything connects, right? And together with the more common occurrence that citadels tend to spawn next to each other. And so to combine with this method, what you want to do is once you find 1 citadel, you can start to afford to look around a little bit around the surroundings for the citadels, for more clues, for more citadel. So not only you can find 1 citadel, once you find 1, you tend to find 1 more or even 2 more citadels within another half hour or maybe within an hour as you path around to look for more clues. Now, if you haven't seen the previous video, I do recommend to have a look. In that video, not only will we explain about how quantity of keystone found can give you up to 3, pretty much guaranteed 3 fragments, which 3 times your income. We also talk about the clues in regards to the environment or the biomes around the citadels. So just to recap, for the stone citadels, you're looking for farm and also pyramids around the citadel. And here for iron citadels, you're looking for farmland, which is broken up like the square pieces of the grass, and also wooden houses with the environment. So the moment you find one of those, you know you're close to the citadel. And finally, for the copper citadels, it is usually in the desert together with a lot of tents. And those deserts are designed to not have corruptions on them like this. So here is the explanation. You can see around the citadel for copper citadel, which makes 5 to 6 divines when you find it for the fragments, they don't have any corruptions on the citadel. And here you can see the corruption that is over here. Now, just to add a little further, I did come across this Reddit post, and a big thank you for Unintelligent Slime for sharing his method and also understandings to the citadels. He mentioned that not only you can look at biomes, you can also look into the nearby knots, because those nearby knots also represents the biome they contain. So previously we just looked at biomes, and here we're looking at the nearby knots, which can contain certain maps that lead up to the citadel. And he has provided some images so we can have a look. You can see that he said the citadels is a little closer and right in front of the temple, and here you can see other citadels are closer to the knots and also to the maps that he mentioned in this particular part. And if you're looking at those particular knots on the map and closer to the citadel, this might lead up to another citadel after you have pathed correctly in a straight line for further distance. So firstly, you get a higher distance. After the higher distance, you try to speed up your time, and then those are the clues you can look for the citadels. I have taken some screenshots of those notes, and yes, a big thank you for everyone who's been sharing on the community so that we can find more citadels. What I recommend is combine this one and also this post, and this is coming over here from Darkonas on Twitch and also on Discord. You can check those 2 information out because this will help you to see the biomes of the maps together combined with the maps that can lead up to the citadels. So over here, we do have a short summary version. So basically, you go straight away from your starting point. You go away, 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 away. You do not go around. You go directly away, as far away as you can. And usually, by the rule of thumb, around 70 or even higher distance traveled, you will start to find citadels. And you can, during this time, use a lower tier map for faster traveling if those knots are not worth it. And you can be looking for biomes and also clues for certain knots that tend to lead to spawn of citadels as you come closer to them. And once you have done all this, you repeat the same process. You keep pathing away from the start. You do not go back, and this is quite important. Now over here, I want to give you guys a very important reminder. Once you find the Citadels, do not rush to do them, because you want to juice this up to around 800% increased Waystone fund. And once you have those increased Waystone fund, look at this. This is a screenshot from my previous video, and also how players are getting at least 2 to 3 fragments. This means a massive increase of income, and you can be making anywhere from 1.5 to 7.5 divines if you find a copper Citadel. So here is the important fact that I think is important for me to remind you guys, is that once you find the Citadels, how you want to juice this. Now, I strongly recommend you watch the previous video, which will talk about juicing a little bit. I do have a video to teach you guys, but just so that in case you're not watching those, let me briefly break this down. So firstly, one of the biggest things is you want to come to this map device, because the map device in your hideout is actually kind of bugged. This map device is actually located on the Act 3 with the second refugees. Once you come over to this map device, you're going to see that all the towers allow you to see the radius around them. And usually this is visually bugged on the map device in the hideout. It doesn't show all the time. Notice that I have circles. I know the radius that I can apply my buffs of Waystones and also tablets. So after that, you want to clear out some of the nodes around the Citadel that is white that you don't want to have the buffs on. The tablets cannot increase buffs on those Waystones. And once you clear those, the ones that is left over, like let's pretend this is a Citadel, and then you can use multiple towers within the radius. Notice I can see the radius, which is important, to buff this particular node. And the buffs you are looking for is going to be increased quantity of Waystone, increased quantity of Waystone, quantity of items can also help. And this is how you target buff the Citadel with multiple towers, by eliminating the ones you don't want to get buffed, and also look at the radius of the tablets and also the towers. And this is the most important part, because you'll be able to get 2 to 3 times more fragments if you do this correctly. And yes, again guys, watch the previous videos for more details on juicing the maps and also finding Citadels. Now coming over to a second part that is not often discussed about. So here we have a Reddit post coming from Exile over here, and he was mentioning a warning for the copper Citadel. I haven't encountered this myself, but I have had some friends with a super speedy blink build and also things like that. They have mentioned that sometimes if they rush into the boss map too quickly and they clear the map too fast, that this might bug out the boss, especially for the copper Citadel boss that tend to have a second phase that takes you to another zone. So just to summarize, when you get to the boss room, give it as a 1 to 5 seconds before you enter the boss room. Try to not blink or do anything funny so you bug out the boss mechanics. And then finally, make sure you have your bossing set up, or maybe your bossing swap for your gem links ready, so you can be sure you're killing the boss instead of the boss killing you. Especially the copper Citadel boss, before he goes to the second phase, his lightning zaps can still do damage. And my friend actually died on this, which is terrible because he lost about 7 divine because of this. Because he got so careless. He's like, he's going into a phase, I'm not going to move, right? So be careful with the bugs with the boss, and do not die with the boss. Now again, my other friends has reached out to me and also talk about the unreachable Citadel pathing. Now as you play the map, sometimes you're going to come across a place, you're like, hey, I can't get over here. Oh, of course I can go over here, right? But sometimes you come across to a place that you just can't get over. And sometimes there's a Citadel over there. So what you can do is, do not panic. This is still early access, and yes, sometimes this is related to a random map generation, which include bugs. But what some of my friends found a way around is that they will try to go around, or they will go further first, and then if they find a way coming back that is over here, then they come back, let's say if the Citadel's over here. But if there's no way to gain access to this area, they will just skip it. It's okay to let it go, because they will look for other Citadels that is spawning around this Citadel. Remember, after about 17 nodes, there's a number of Citadels that spawns, not just one. This is most of the case. So if one is bugged, you try to path from behind, or you try to go further to look around for more Citadels. And this is the best way when you are reaching or finding unreachable, unpathable Citadels, which again, they should not have this like this, right? Because the Citadel means a big milestone, a big reward for most of the players. And to have this bug in early access is something they really need to fix before the launch of the game. So hopefully you guys found this updated video helpful with finding more Citadels and also ways to, I guess, more certainty for more Citadels. Again, a big thank you for everyone on Reddit, and also thank you for DonTheCrown for sharing and all the wonderful materials that is made by the community. Everything mentioned in this video will be in the links below, so make sure you guys use the links below, and also check out my previous video about searching for Citadels, which will have more guide and also more related content. Together with how to choose maps, this will guarantee you that once you find the right Citadel, you know the radius, you know how to choose the Citadel for at least 2 to 3 fragments. And this is how people make over 10 to 20 divines while farming the maps and also finding more Citadels. Now hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Mattjestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day, and this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos. Now before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so, because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on our official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is going to be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.